It's an hour and 10 minutes left of Seven's Day. Seven's Day is always pain for some reason, but not now. This is a beautiful redemption moment. And so every system tested out fine. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it over and start up. The Haltech and the Adaptronic do timing slightly differently in terms of the crank angle sensor. So we're gonna go ahead and crank it. It's 50 miles. There you go. There's our first fire. It worked. That is so sick. It's our very first time of firing this car up. All completely different. So even though it's the Rotary Corvette that you've seen before, we have to hunt down a correct ignition so it doesn't turn off when the key goes into cranking. So I'll figure that out real quick. Otherwise, Isaiah's stuck right there. But oh my God, that is so cool. You guys see this? You see this? See this? My boobie? Valvoline, as you guys know, this isn't even be an ad. This is just the reality of my life, is that so much has been made possible by Valvoline, mostly being able to do all these weird ass things, all with the protection of VR1. They have a variety of different oils for normal cars, crazy cars, all of that. It's all top notch. And I've met their engineers, their scientists, and so I know there's some serious people working on this stuff. Not only do you have the protection, but you also have the cleaning power, the gunk protection, all those other marketing terms. But what's important is that Valvoline is amazing. So we're gonna continue using VR1, which has that nice amount of ZDDP. That's a package that's put in there for the zinc and phosphorus and all that. And the 2050, as you guys know, short of putting this in my hair, I love this stuff so much. Valvoline's made so much possible for me and the entire car community, but it all starts with some quality oil. I chose a bad spot to have ignition switch on. It turns off the moment you get to the starter. It's just ignition on and then starter, which was great for the other things that I had it for. I had it for relays that you don't want running while the car's trying to start. So we need to try and start though. So let's see if this now stays on. Figuring out some timing because the timing's off and we don't have an easy way of checking it and verifying it. And I'm not gonna drive the car without timing verified. I don't mind firing it back up. Go. I'm gonna die in here because of all the fumes, but that is, oh, that wasn't the pedal doing this, that was the engine. Bop, 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 bop. Oh, that is so exciting. 1500 RPM, it loves it. Well, we can't stop 7 today, even though it's slightly after it, without a quick drive. Now, it's not fully tuned or anything like that, but I mean, I'm just putting it around. I want to feel the suspension. First time I've seen these, we're gonna do our famous little lap. You're gonna hear it, it's straight piped down to about here, so I can't sit too long. Okay, there is a lot. I forgot about all the things that are different about this car because of the Haltech. We have the whole new TIC transmission, the T56 Magnum, all done up. So we've got that. We've got the semi-P, my whole engine rebuilt like that. Entire drivetrain is refreshed. Okay, so the fan is turning on. Make sure cooking everything off of there, right? It's at 170. Water pump's working, this is working. Clearly, the downpipe sounds hilarious. Man of my word, I gotta take it for a quick loop. It's gonna sound like shit. But not as bad as it used to.
That's very true.
It can sound as bad as it possibly can right now, but it will never sound as bad as the Corvette exhaust. It's so much more drivable. The transmission is so smooth. I mean, night and day difference. The whole torque tube, everything, nothing notchy, it's just butter smooth there. That's just above all. I think we should take you for a little drive.
How's suspension?
So, that's the other thing. The suspension's smooth as hell. Everything's just really smooth on this car. I'm so happy with that.
That is not the same car.
No, that is a totally different experience. That's incredible. Now, first of all, the exhaust manifold was done incorrectly, and so there's air going from one rotor pulsing outward and then going back into the other, which wasn't a big deal when it was stock ports because they were so small they never overlapped. Well, there's enough overlap with the semi-P and reverberation and whatever else that maybe I'm not even aware of. It has crap for vacuum until you start to give it a little bit of revving. It's really light vacuum. -2, -3 PSI, which is on the lower end. You should see at least -7, I think. Not indication of the engine. Engine's fine. When we have the full exhaust where it's fully divided, we won't have that issue, so we will gain efficiency. Do you hear that? I'm actually able to control such a wild engine with the drive-by-wire very well. And what was really funny is I was waiting for the engine to get up to temp, and it never did because I had already set the fan to start coming on about 20% before it reached operating temperature. So it was never letting the car come up to full operating temperature, which is a wonderful problem to have. I felt one of those pulses when it was revving really hard. Set off a car alarm, apparently. She's an interesting car, to say the least. I am so in love with Haltech because it makes everything else so easy that you're already focused on super advanced issues. And so you can hear the car breaking up a little bit. Now, I did have it hit rev limiter on that last one, and it sounded great. I just need to do a lot of things that are like dotting I's, crossing T's. It's not stuff that YouTube really truly cares about, but it's like making sure that every single ignition coil is the correct one in the right order, firing at the right time, instead of just assuming that because one is good, we're good with all the other ones. We'll be chasing gremlins otherwise. But everything's working well. I just have a lot more work to do.
Right on.
This is why you check all four. We shorthanded it, like I said earlier in the video, and just did one rotor 1 leading, and here's the problem. Some systems go rotor 1 leading, rotor 2 leading. Some systems go rotor 1 leading, rotor 1 trailing, either or. And so what we've found is, after checking everything else, sure enough, the second and third ignition coils are backwards, which means they were firing at 180 degrees, almost exactly opposite. That, on top of everything else, verifying time, this thing should run so much better. But that's why you check more than one coil, because they can be swapped just because of that simple concept of which one is actually number 2. She sounds so much better, so much more predictable. Everything's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and do the boring part of getting that base map going, but at least it's responding so much better than I was expecting before. I might be able to do a little baby pull. Super happy with the Haltech system. I have so much data, almost too much information. Psych, I love all that information. I can use all of that to make a lot of decisions. A couple things. One is with first gear being so tall, just the nature of it, I can use the Haltech to customize my fuel maps, my throttle position, all that stuff to basically have the ECU cheat the system, and as it knows that I'm starting to take off based on wheel speed kicks on under 3 miles an hour now, it can raise the throttle and prevent even me from messing up first gear. So basically the car is smarter than I am and starts launching itself at a slow speed, but it won't let the car die. I am so impressed at the customization of maps, especially with rotary guys. There's always something weird going on with the car, at least when you start getting to this level. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out a little bit more and see what it does. We'll see if it sounds good, but I will tell you right now, this thing opens up big time. It is going to be an absolute, if I was Cletus McFarlane, ripper. So much better. She is just sounding incredible. She's actually running a little rich, but all of my little quick calculations and adjustments make that car so much more drivable that quickly. Like literally, normally it's like 20 pulls and I'm beating my head and dick against the wall. I'm very, very pleased with the Haltech. This is incredible for a car like this. I'm boosting very quickly too. You can hear it. 3,500 RPM, she's in the boost at, very light throttle. I wasn't trying to push that. I'm just trying to capture other data and really get the bass tune really good. But oh my God, what a big difference. I forgot that we've got these wheel speed sensors so accurate now. And I also forgot these are not on good tires. Green and yellow are rear wheel speeds. And look at, whoop, I felt the car like lurch a little bit, but look at that. On every single little pull, the rear wheels just boop, boop, boop. It's so incredible, even on the stock wheel speed sensors, that you can detect that little bit. I didn't even feel this one. This one, I felt the car starting to slide. But what I'm curious now, we'll take a look at wheel slip, and you can certainly make some good data. Look at how small that percentage is. 15% was enough to start getting the car sliding a little bit. That's such clean, consistent data that you don't have to worry about like, oh, is 15% not enough to, like, could that trigger all the time? Very clearly, no. If you want to know what I love so much about the Haltech summarized into one screen, it is this right here. Well, this is traction control. How much slip are you basically desiring? And it says, hey, under 10% slip, don't do anything. It's just one value until you realize that this thing lets you do whatever you want. So we'll just enable an axis and say gear. Each gear might want more or less slip, and so then we'll put, like, say first, second, and third, just to show you an example. And so now in first gear, you know what, we'll allow 20%. As the gears go higher, your slip is desirable even less because, you could get out of control, essentially. What was wild is on that little run right there, you can see the slip is just barely there. Now this is very accurate data, it's just I'm not logging it as fast. Sure enough, like clockwork, the car started doing this little white part, which is traction control cutting percentage of the ignition. Now this is next to nothing. 7% ignition cut is hardly noticeable. The point is, it is happening each time the wheels start slipping. And so I did feel that third one. Like say, gear, but we also want it based on RPM. First gear is good, but maybe at 2,000 RPM, don't let it slip so much. Or better yet, not gear, we'll say vehicle speed. Vehicle speed, we're at 10 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. It's as simple as this. That's a table that has never existed probably. Maybe somebody out there has done it. But hey, at 10 miles an hour in first gear, I'd allow a lot more slip. I did a launch. I don't want to start cutting ignition too much because then it's going to hurt your chances. So we will set that to say just 30, just for example. And then, hey, if you're in first gear and you're up closer to 50 miles an hour, you don't want slip. That's the Haltech boiled down into what I love so much about it. The R5 and the Elite NSP, the PD box, all of this summarized right there. You can do just about anything with it.